Laser sights can deter threats and aid in quick target identification, enhancing your ability to protect your family, home, and country. Crimson Trace, making laser sights standard equipment. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
This is Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, now available on iTunes and other podcast clients, and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for iPhone and Android. Feel free to call Tom now at 1-TOM-TALK-GUN or 866-825-5486, or email Tom at guntalk.com. Now, once again, here's Tom.
Oh, so much for us to talk about. And I told you I would talk about this. I'm going to put it off for just a few minutes. I was talking with a gun store owner. I'll give you the quick version here. Gun store owner in Oklahoma. He had been through an audit recently with the ATF, and they do routine audits. And usually they go in, they look at what's happened in the last year, look at the books. And they were doing it's practically a proctological exam on his books. They were going back 20 years, day after day doing this audit. And he knew these guys. They've been in there, every year, and they go back a year. He said, "Hey guys, what's going on? What's with the super audit here?" He said they shrugged and said, "Hey man, we're just pawns. We just do what we're told." I said, "Well, what are you talking about?" He says, "We have been told to get their licenses. Get the licenses. Do what has to be done to pull the licenses of gun stores." And that's under the Obama administration, which isn't as anti-gun rights as the Hillary Clinton administration will be. So yeah, you don't need Congress to take action to do this kind of stuff. You know, of course, that I spend a lot of time telling you to be safe. Not just with guns, in everything. And I don't know, maybe it comes partly from my background as a pilot. I'm always thinking about how do we do, can we do this safely? What's our plan B? What's our plan C? How do we get out of this? If we're in a box canyon, how do we get out? If something goes wrong, what do I do now? And if the plan A doesn't work, go to plan B. And if the plan B doesn't work, what's plan C? I remember Clint Smith saying, "Hey, the difference between you guys and me," he says, "when I think about a gunfight and what I'm going to do," he says, "when you're thinking about it, in your head, you see everything going right. Just when I think about it, in my head, I see everything going wrong, what I'm going to do then, and when that doesn't work, what am I going to do then?" It's a way of thinking, and I think it's not to make you scared, it's not to make you paranoid, it just makes you prepared. It makes you start thinking about, okay, I have to do these things, I have to take care of myself. I get a lot of books sent to me that, the super-duper guide to, survival in the wilds, the all-in-one, blah, blah, blah. And usually, frankly, not impressed. Well, I just got one that I'm really impressed with. And joining me right now is the author of 100 Deadly Skills Survival Edition, The SEAL Operator's Guide to Surviving in the Wild and Being Prepared for Any Disaster, Navy SEAL retired, Clint Emerson. Clint, thank you for being here.
Hey, Tom. Thanks for having me.
You, in my humble opinion, have knocked this thing out of the park. I think this book is an absolute home run because it's so easy to read. I mean, it's like every chapter is roughly a page or 2 pages, and it's, you can read this in short little segments if you're sitting in the home library, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, that's I put it together in a manner that would be digestible, and you can open it up. You don't have to go in order. You can open it up to the center and learn something new every time. And with the narrative, it supports illustrations, and the narrative does not repeat anything that's in the illustration. So therefore, hopefully, it paints the perfect picture on what to do when crisis strikes.
All right, I'm going to just for fun, just to what you're talking about, I'm going to flip this open 3 times and just see what pops up so people can get an idea. Okay, I'm just flipping it open. Build a bamboo hammock. So you can build a hammock out of bamboo. All right, flipping it open. Build an improvised concealable rifle rack, and you're using coat hangers to build a rifle rack that you put between the mattress and the box springs of your bed. Brilliant, okay? Flip it open one more time. Escape a flooding vehicle. What made you write this book?
Well, it is the sequel to the first one, the first one was very personal. It was skills on, if you're abducted, how to get out of tape, how to get out of handcuffs. It had a lot of tactics and techniques that bad guys have mastered over the years. And I thought, well, hell, it'd be a good idea for people to know what bad guys are capable of. That way, if it comes walking around the corner, you can identify it. Now, the second book was really, I started seeing the headlines, and I wanted to put something out that matched and gave people some options that they may not think about when you have headlines like runaway trains. So I covered that. If you have ransomware, we cover that. When you talk about inspired terrorism, I made sure I covered that. I mean, there is at least 10 skills in this book right now that are in the headlines today. And really that was the goal, was answer the call, give people a survival book, if you will. I hate to call it that, but really it's a playbook of options that you can do if you find yourself in crisis, because yesterday's, survival books really don't answer the call to today's and tomorrow's threats. To
what extent does the training and experience that you have in the SEALs equate to this? And where I'm going with this is, in all the training you do, surely a lot of it's physical, but a lot of it is recalibrating the way you think, isn't it?
It is. It's, the biggest thing I try to push is that when you find yourself in a bad situation, there's really only two variables you control that have nothing to do with the problem you're in. It's preparation and response. And these are things you do before you end up in crisis. And it's a new, you have to sensitize yourself. You have to kind of recalibrate yourself that, okay, for an active shooter on the preparation side of the house, I know that mentally I'm going through a checklist of things I'm looking for. I know that I'm physically identifying things that stop bullets so that if something happens, I know, okay, I can jump behind this or that. It could be a planter, a bollard, the engine end of a vehicle, vice the trunk, and knowing the difference. One, bullets travel through a trunk, nice and easy, but through an engine block, not so easy. But knowing this stuff ahead of time so that when crisis strikes, you shorten your time, right? So if you've got a good preparation, if you've got solid preparation and a good response plan, then you basically are shortening your time in crisis, and that is the ultimate goal.
Yeah, that reactionary gap we talk about, where the time between you recognize there's a problem and then starting to move and do something about it, or another way we put it is, in the middle of a gunfight is a bad time to acquire new skills. So
without a doubt,
you need to have thought about this stuff, or make decisions, exactly. And I remember a pilot who made an emergency landing in a field when the weather was going down, and the guy that went to pick him up, he said, well, at what point did you decide to actually go land in a field? He said, 5 years ago. I said, what do you mean? He says, exactly. I had a similar situation 5 years ago, and I decided then that if this ever happened, this is what I was going to do. And so at that point, your decision-making is taken care of. Now you're just doing execution.
Exactly. You nailed it. It's naturalistic decision-making versus clinical decision-making. Clinical, you have plenty of time, zero stress. Naturalistic, or also we call it tactical decision-making, is you've got, increased stress and zero time. Ideally, we all want to make the decisions in a more clinical setting so that when we find ourselves in a bad situation, all we do is act those decisions out, saving time. And, the reality is if you waited and try and make a decision in the middle of a crisis, the odds are against you that you'll make the wrong decision.
Yeah. Yep, exactly right. The book is titled 100 Deadly Skills Survival Edition, but it's more than that. It's not just deadly skills. It's how to escape an abduction, how to deal with a home invasion, what happens if you get stranded outside in a blizzard. I mean, it goes on and on. Clint, it's just a really, really good book. I congratulate you on it. I think you've really done a super job. I got to tell you, I really like it.
Tom, I'm glad you like it. That says a lot. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. I would highly recommend it. Thanks, sir. All right. 866-TALK-GUN is our number here. We have Michael, Bill, Dan waiting for us here. And if you'd like to get in line, all you have to do is pick up the phone and call us, 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial Tom Talk Gun. That'll get you in.
Want your next gun purchase to be fast and hassle-free? Well, at galleryofguns.com, you can search through thousands of models from our huge firearms inventory. Find a great offer from a local dealer that includes all fees and taxes. And there's no need to arrange a transfer. Gallery of Guns takes a small deposit on your credit card, and your gun will be at your chosen dealer in as little as 48 hours. Plus, your gun will be covered by our guaranteed lifetime replacement warranty. Galleryofguns.com. Search, find, buy. It really is just that easy.
Shooting your gun is more fun than cleaning your gun, right? Then you want Federal's newest high-tech ammo, American Eagle Syntech. With polymer-coated bullets to eliminate copper and lead fouling, clean-burning powders, and the Catalyst lead-free primer, Syntech range ammunition means you clean less, shoot more, and shoot better. No copper jacket also reduces splashback when shooting steel in 9mm, 40, and 45. Visit federalpremium.com and ask your local retailer for Syntech ammo.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at shopguntalk.com. Get prepared. shopguntalk.com.
The Ruger American Rimfire Rifle combines features of the Ruger American Rifle and innovations of the 1022 Rimfire Rifle to appeal to all bolt-action enthusiasts. It features a modular stock system that provides comb height options for scope or iron sight use, a power bedding integral bedding block system for outstanding accuracy, a Ruger Marksman adjustable trigger, and a 1022-style rotary magazine for reliable feeding. The Ruger American Rimfire Rifle, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
All right, it is your time now. If you'd like to join us, have a range report, a gun you want to tell us about, a shooting experience that you'd like to share, by all means, we would love to hear it. 866-TALK-GUN. Line 1, Michael's in Savannah, Georgia. Michael, you're on the show.
Yes, sir. I wanted to talk about, you say trust and verify. How do we verify the electronic voting? There's no paperwork or anything, but I think I've come up with a solution. Everybody has a cell phone. Take a picture of this ballot when you submit it.
Okay, and then what?
Well, we have ammunition. Are we just supposed to trust what they say? They're so honest. Do we?
Well, but what are you going to do? You got a picture. You got a picture of one vote.
Yeah, but
there's no way for us to put all these pictures
where 50 million people can get on there and say, "Hey, this is Illinois has voted this many times, and we have 45 million people with Donald Trump, or so many with Hillary Clinton." We have something we can go back to them with.
Well, I share your concern with the system because I certainly believe that Hillary Clinton would and possibly has doctored the system. I just think she would do absolutely anything. She's already done so many things that are illegal that I think there's really no limit to what she would do. I don't know if that's the solution, but it is, I know there are smart people looking into it, I hope at least. Michael, I appreciate the call. Thanks, sir. Line 3, Bill is traveling in Idaho. Hey, Bill, where in Idaho are you?
Well, I'm not in Idaho yet. I'm in the southeast corner of Oregon on my way to Idaho.
Aha. Okay, good deal.
So
give me your range report, sir.
Republic. I'm going to Idaho to put a deposit on a lot so I can build a house.
Are you really? What part of Idaho?
Nampa.
Boise area. That's a beautiful area. There's a lot of shooters in that Nampa area.
Yeah, I've got a lot, 5 miles south of town. I'm going to look at it before I put money down on the thing, and Yeah, I'm done with California. I've lived there most of my life. This last group of bills, it's too much. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, the Gunopolis, they call it. It's just awful. Yeah, well, congratulations on making the move. It's not easy. I understand that. But at a certain point, you say, I cannot live with these draconian measures, which, well, frankly, they'll make you a criminal. There's no way to be a gun owner in California and not break the law after these go into effect.
Yeah, I bought a couple ARs in the last 3 or 4 years. And, if I'm going to be a felon, I want it to be my choice, not theirs. And they shouldn't be able to do it retroactively. But, yeah.
That's pretty much it. All right, well, tell me about the LRP Elite 308. What's happening here?
Well, I bought this. I had a Ruger Precision on order, but the distributor, my local dealer, couldn't get one for various reasons, and they came across this, and I looked at it and said, that seems to be the deal. I've got about 100 rounds through it so far. Tried three different loads, 48.95, 40.64, reloaded 15. Hasn't shot anything over 3/4 of an inch. And it seems to put them all in the same hole. It's not fussy. I tried some 40.64, and the only difference between 40.5 up to 42.5 is does it shoot a half-inch low or a half-inch high, but they're all in the same hole. So I'll do the same thing with some reloaded 15. I'll probably shoot it tomorrow.
What kind of bullets are you using?
Go ahead.
What bullets are you using?
The 168 Sierra.
Yeah, good bullet. Good bullet. So what's the plan? What are you going to do with this rifle?
Standard, you can use that bullet and put 42 grains, just about anything in it, and it'll shoot pretty good, and it has.
Right, exactly.
So we're just trying to tailor it now.
Yeah, exactly. So what are you going to do? Is this for competition?
Oh, I may compete with it, probably just for playing around.
Okay.
Bragging rights, being able to put them all in the same hole type of thing.
I understand. All right. Well, good range report. I appreciate it, sir. You and good luck with your move to Idaho. I congratulate you. That's gutsy to just pick up and do that. Line 4, Dan's with us out of Montana. If Bill keeps going, he's going to end up in Montana. He's got to know when to stop. Hey, Dan.
How are you?
I am good. What'd you get?
Well, I'll tell you what I did. I went to an estate sale, and I bought some powder. And it's called Hercules. And it's Hercules Unique and Hercules 2400.
How much did you get?
We do some reloading, and one of them says it's for shotguns, pistols, and rifles. And the other one says small rifles. And I was wondering how good a powder this is and if it's worth reloading or not.
Well, first of all, how much of it did you get?
Well, I got 4 pounds of the other, but they're about 2/3 of the way gone. And then I bought 1 8-pound pack with, but it's about 2/3 used up too.
Okay. Well, there is a website for Alliant Powder, and that's who makes this now. And it's just ALL, that is, ALLIANT, AlliantPowder.com. Unique is kind of a shot shell powder for shotgun shells, but it can be used in a lot of different handgun cartridges. 2400 is pretty much for Magnum handgun cartridges. But if you go to that website, AlliantPowder.com, they will have all of the cartridges and shot shells and everything that those powders are good for, and you can get reloading data and all of that. Those are good powders, absolutely good powders. It's just a case, as you know already, of matching it to whatever it is you're going to shoot.
I got a quick story if you want it.
Yeah, go for it.
I was at the gun sales. I've been looking for a little handgun for quite a while. And I bought a little Taurus Slim, a 9mm. And I couldn't hardly shoot it during summertime. It was just too hot around, and they didn't want you out on the range. It was even closed. And so we took them out, and my friend's wife's got a Glock, a little 380, and he's got a Glock 9mm.
Right.
And so we were just going to go out there and try them out and see how they all shot. And they had shot theirs a few times before, and so we took them out there, and we were shooting different ones. And his wife had that little 380 Glock, and she says, I can't hit nothing with this thing. And I said, well, try this. See if you like it any better. She took it, and she had about, they're big, pretty big targets, but she clanked them and moved them over all but one. And she says, I like this one. I didn't know if I was going to get to take my gun home or not.
Almost lost a gun on that deal, huh?
She said it fit her hands, too, that she could use it, real well.
Well, and that's what we're always talking about, Dan, is the whole, does the gun fit? Glock is a great gun. Taurus is a great gun. But she shot one better than the other. That's why you have to try these out. I appreciate the call, sir, and I appreciate the info. That's a great story. I love that. But yeah, Hercules Unique and 2400, very good powders. You just got to match them with the load. Just go to AlliantPowder.com. Line 2, Fred is in California. Speaking of California. Hey, Fred, you're on Gun Talk.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Okay. I have a concern if Hillary Clinton gets in. I want your opinion. Then after the election, would I think President Obama will make executive order like lengthening the length of background checks, doing away with ARs, and doing away with gun trust by executive orders. And then she will support that and load the court against all that, and we'll lose all that. What's your opinion?
I hadn't thought of that, but, it's certainly within the realm of possibility. We know that Obama wanted to do a lot more of his anti-gun moves, and in fact, when he was interviewed, he said that's one of his big regrets of his administration is he couldn't ban more guns, he couldn't get more gun control passed, and so if he saw a clear shot at it as he's heading out the door to do some executive orders, maybe make it easier for Hillary to progress and to carry on his legacy of anti-gun moves. Of course, she wants to expand upon that greatly. She wants to reenact the gun ban, her husband's gun ban. She wants to do away with the sale of guns by destroying all of the gun companies in America through the lawsuit process. And that alone pretty much takes care of it. And then we hold the whole registration thing. Oh, yeah. How would you have to do registration? You'd have to do a door-to-door search of every house in America. That's what she wants.
Want your opinion to make a difference? Log on to our website and take the Gun Talk poll, www.guntalk.com. Now, once again, opinion page regular contributor for the Washington Times, here's Tom.
All right, welcome back. 866-TALK-GUN is how you reach us. Just dial us or dial 1, then Tom Talk Gun. Let's see. John is on line 1 in Fargo, North Dakota. Let's talk with John. Hey, we got a range report? What'd you do?
Afternoon, Tom. Well, yeah, I got a range report and a quick comment afterwards. SR9C Ruger. Love it to death. Love it to death.
That's a sweet pistol. I think it's underappreciated.
I'm going to agree with you on that because I've never been real comfortable with, carrying a striker fire. But my confidence level in this gun has just blossomed that into now I carry it pretty much all the time. I love it to death.
They got a good trigger. They're very slim. All right, go ahead.
That guy who's going to buy his land in Idaho, Tom, to get away from California. I finally got my North Dakota Class 1, aced it 24 out of 24 on paper. Not an issue. I've been shooting for 40-plus years. But the reason I was forced into that was the great liberal state to the east of me, Minnesota, who will no longer honor our Class 2s or, the Utah permit in conjunction. And ever since they did that 2+ years ago, I've been voting with my pocketbook, and I urge others to do the same. I will buy nothing out of the state of Minnesota that I absolutely cannot, or, either A, cannot live without because it's the only one there, or that's the only state that happens to produce it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm lost. What is a Class 1 and a Class 2?
Class 1 requires a proficiency test. Class 2 is like the Utah permit where it does not require the proficiency test.
Are you talking about a concealed carry permit?
Our Attorney General let us down a couple of years ago when Minnesota's legislature carefully added a couple of words to their law that, an honored permit must meet or exceed ours.
John, I'm still lost. Are you talking about a concealed carry permit? What are you talking about?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I probably could have clarified that.
I was lost as a goose. I have never heard the terms Class 1 or Class 2. Never.
Yeah, see, North Dakota had to separate it. Class 1 requires you to take the actual proficiency test, and a Class 2 does not. Like Utah, where you just take the paper test, and prove that you know what a gun looks like, and understand the responsibilities. That's the primary difference between the two. But the other difference is that now every 5 years, when I renew, I will have to go and take the class again and take the proficiency test again, which of course is considerably more money than just doing the renewal.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Utah is only $15. North Dakota is $60, which basically they both do the same thing: run a background check on you and reissue it.
Right, understand. So, but your bottom line is you're saying you're not going to buy anything from Minnesota?
If I don't have to, it's like when I have to travel through Minnesota, I make as few stops as possible. If I can buy fuel at the border here and make it through to Wisconsin, I will wait until I get to Wisconsin, even if I have to pay a dime a gallon more. To me, it really boils down to the principle of the thing. If you're going to restrict my rights and make my life a pain in the rear, then why should I give you my tax revenue to work with to continue to do so?
I'm not saying it's not a good idea, but let me ask you this question. Do you think anybody there even knows or cares, or how are you letting people know about it, what you're doing?
Well, I will tell anybody, when that subject comes up, every chance I get. And I think that's part of it as gun owners. We have that responsibility to each other to share that kind of information and really, express our views, like I said, by voting with our pocketbook. If enough people do it, eventually it gets noticed.
Well, no, it doesn't, actually. That's the thing. No, it doesn't get noticed at all. The only way it gets noticed is if every time you don't spend money there and you spend it somewhere else, you send a scan or a picture of your receipt to the tourism department of the state of Minnesota and the governor's office, and like if it's weekly or every day, it's another email. Here's more money that I spent that I could have spent with you guys that I didn't, and here's why. And then if you get 10 people do that, and then 20 people, and then 100 people doing that, now they're paying attention. But if you're just simply not spending money there, they'll never know it.
Yeah, and I guess I'll agree with you. It's kind of like, where there's a lot of gun owners that carry the little card around that, when you get to a business, that has a sign that's posted, guns are not welcome here. You just slip in and say, well, I just shopped in your store except for I carry, here's a card, have a nice day, and just politely walk away.
Exactly. That's it, because otherwise, even if they ever noticed that revenue was going down, they wouldn't know why. They wouldn't say, well, gee, we did this thing and that made people go away. You've got to let them know. Anyway, John, I applaud you for sticking to your guns on this. And if you just, that one other thing, just let them know about it. Look, I appreciate the call. Let's see. Yes, we are at that place where I have to take a quick break here. Tell you what, you can now get in line because we have more room for you. We have gone through a couple of calls, got some room on the lines for you. You'd like to join us? 866-TALK-GUN. I did a little grouse hunting, woodcock hunting. Well, we had fun. As I say, it was a good walk. Are you getting ready for hunting season? Maybe you're already hunting. Let me know how that's going. 866-TALK-GUN.
Brownells has always given you an advantage. With their huge selection of forever guaranteed gun parts, ammunition, shooting accessories, and more. And now, they're offering you the Edge. For just $49.95, Brownells Edge covers your standard shipping and any return shipping cost for 1 year. Brownells Edge members also receive discount expedited shipping and exclusive offers. Get the Edge today by visiting brownells.com/edge.
If you love to shoot sporting clays, Mossberg has just the gun for you. The new Pro Series Sporting is a full-featured target gun that fits well and points naturally right out of the box. Designed in conjunction with Gil and Vicky Ash of OSP Shooting Schools, the Mossberg 930 was developed to work with you to make clay shooting easier, more consistent, and more enjoyable. This fall, head out to the range and break more clays with the new Mossberg 930 Sporting. Learn more at mossberg.com.
After a long workday, you need a break when you get home. That's when it's trigger time. With quality adult air guns that are powerful, accurate, and quiet, and cost just pennies to shoot. We are Pyramid Air. We know air guns. Let our experts with more than 150 years of combined air gun experience help find the right air gun for you. Get your trigger time, anytime, for less. PyramidAir.com.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
Nosler has been a leader in bullets and ammunition for decades and keeps growing with new product introductions that follow this tradition. Accurate, highly effective bullets and ammo for long-range shooting, precision rifle competition, and big game hunting. To be the first to hear about new product releases and promotions, follow Nosler on Facebook and Instagram and become part of the conversation. You won't settle, and neither will we. Nosler.com.
Yes, indeed. We are having fun talking about guns. Let's see, when was that? Thursday of this week. I was in Michigan, in Traverse City. We went out on a little woodcock/grouse hunt. Got to bust through some brush. Got my hands torn up in the briars. Had a good time. Took an old Winchester Model 21 side-by-side 16-gauge skeet gun with me. Got to fire 2 shots. Did not hit a bird. I whacked a tree with the side of the barrel. I mean, wham, swinging. It was tight quarters, but had fun, had a great time. And then went to a gun fitting that afternoon with Brian Belinsky. Man, he really is Dr. Shotgun. I swear, he knows his stuff. If you want to look online, his store is fieldsportltd.com. By the way, he sells some really nice shotguns there, too, some used guns. Got a lot of used guns. He'll have actually a few more because I left a few up there for him to sell because I just had them with me. I'm also going to be calling Johnny Dury and going to be moving some guns that way, too. Just some things that we're not using, some things I've had for a long time, and it's time to let some of them go. Somebody else needs to enjoy those. But what I basically made a decision after getting my gun fitting done, if a shotgun doesn't fit me, there's no point in having it, really. Can't hit anything with it. It's not pointing where I am looking. What's the point of having a shotgun that handicaps you? If you've never had a gun fitting, it's one of those, hard to explain. It really is an aha moment or an in-tot moment or one of those where you go, that makes sense. And that explains. You could have been doing everything right. Maybe it wasn't you at all. Maybe it just the gun wasn't pointed where you thought it was. The other thing that Brian pointed out, he says, man, there's a problem with regulation on guns. Regulation in this case being, does the gun actually shoot where it's pointed? If you shoot a shotgun off of a bench, off of a rest, aiming it like a rifle at the target, will the shot hit where you're aiming? He said, in many cases today, the guns you have don't actually shoot where you're aiming them. Even if you're doing everything right, the pattern is not going where it's supposed to. So just food for thought. If you've not actually checked the regulation of your shotgun, you might want to do that. What you may find is that just isn't shooting where you think it is. And if not, you're just handicapped. Just are. But we had a real good time. Just what a good guy. Dr. Shotgun. Yeah, fieldsportltd.com. If you ever are up in that Traverse City area, you owe it to yourself to go see his gun room. Pretty cool stuff. Really is. Okay, let's see. Line 3. Let me make sure. Oops. I think we have a different line 3 now. Let's go to Dale. Line 3 is Dale in Danville, Alabama. Hey, Dale, you're on Gun Talk.
Hey, Tom. I'm going to cut to the chase and be real quick on this. I want to talk about the liberal thought process, because I don't think that a lot of these people have really thought all the way through on what the end result will be if they manage to put all these manufacturers out of business. When you put gun manufacturers out of business, which there's no doubt that's probably their ultimate goal, but once you do that, who's going to manufacture these firearms and everything for military and law enforcement use to upgrade all their equipment?
That's actually easy.
I don't think there's enough profit margin for them to just work for the government or law enforcement agencies.
No. That's easy. Think back to when we had Springfield Armory, a government armory making guns for the military. They say, well, this is going to be easy. We're just going to have government make guns for the military and for police because nobody else is allowed to have a gun.
Okay, well, maybe I need to go back and work on my thought process a little bit then.
What you have to do is think this way. They don't care if it makes sense. They don't care if it put 1 million people out of work. They don't care if it impacts the economy. They don't care if it impacts taxes. They don't care if the military or the police actually have guns. I've actually had them tell me, well, once we get rid of all the guns, the police won't need their guns either. I swear to you that's exactly what they said. They don't like the military. They don't like the police. And so they're not going to care about getting guns to them. And so that's kind of like a fourth level of thinking down for them. And they would say, well, we'll just build government manufacturing, or we'll just buy them from overseas and get them sent in there. That way we don't have any of these evil, truly, and that's the word they use, evil gun makers in America. Something else. I'll tell you, it's just a different way of thinking. Dale, I appreciate the call. Line 4, Philip is in Milton, Florida. Hey, Philip, you're on Gun Talk.
Hi, Tom. Hey, look, this question or this comment actually is in reference to the guy that was talking about taking pictures of his ballot when he goes to vote. There's actually a better way to do this. Are you familiar with something called Operation Red 2016?
No.
Okay, let me cut it down to you real quick. Operation Red 2016 is basically this: if you go into the voting polls and your intention is to vote for Donald Trump, then you wear a red shirt. The intention behind it is we know that these polling areas are going to be broadcast all over the nation. We're going to have news media outlets at all these polling stations, and if it is shown all over the media that there is seas of red in these polling areas, and then Hillary still wins, then we have a absolute bona fide positive proof that voter fraud has taken place.
Well, look, and I understand what you're saying, and I understand the sentiment behind it, but it would be non-actionable. It would not do anything. It's a feel-good, make me think I can do something move. It will do absolutely nothing. That would help in no way in challenging the election. By the way, I just got an email from RGC, and he says, I was an election judge in Smith County, Texas for about 20 years. He says, there's no way to hack a voting machine in this country. The only way to change any votes is to improperly load the memory card before it is sent out to the precincts. He says the only connections to the voting machine is 130-volt power cord. I don't know. RC sounds like he knows what he's talking about. I don't know. I still worry about it, I'll tell you. I still trust her. Well, why would I? She's a crook. So there you go. You know what you have to do. You know how you have to vote. Woo, boy, you guys are lighting up the phones today. Lots of folks calling in. That's great. 866-TALK-GUN. Load her up. Michelle can handle it. Yeah, I did that to you. Oh, my goodness. Let's see here. Let's go to line 1. Marcus is in Ohio with a range report. Hey, Marcus, what'd you shoot?
Hey, Tom, how you doing today? Hey, I'll tell you, you've been costing me a lot of money because you have so many good suggestions on there. I just can't help but follow it and go get some good stuff. So I just recently bought 2 things. I bought a Smith & Wesson M&P 15 from a local gun shop guy not too far away, and I also got the Sightmark Red Dot with it. I got about 500-600 rounds through it and get it too long ago. Man, it's a ton of fun to shoot. That Sightmark, kind of like a Neotech, I guess, but it's a little cheaper. It's got the red dot and then like the circle around it, and everybody's different. But like my eye sees that dot a lot better when it's circled by like another circle. So I just really liked it, and it works great. Love it. My eye goes right to it. And
had you shot an AR before? Had you done much with ARs before this?
No, actually very little. The only ones I shot was one that my brother owned, and that's what kind of got me hooked. And then you said, just go out and buy one. So so I did. And so I'm kind of new to them, but I'm having fun learning with them as I go.
It is fun, and they're just fun rifles.
Oh, it's a ton of fun. And at the same time, you had given a suggestion about, you guys have talked a lot about carry capacity of rounds, and I carry a Carr PM9 as my primary carry pistol. And recently I got the Springfield XD Mod 2 with the 13-round magazine and the 16-round magazine, so it's a double stack, but it's still very carryable, I think, with a Alien Gear holster, which I got with my Alien Gear gun belt as well. So I feel a lot better having the extra rounds and a whole extra magazine. You got 26 rounds and pretty carryable. Oh, I'm sorry, that's bad math, but 32 rounds and it's very carryable format if you want to, or 26, but.
That's great. Now, you also, so you got an AR and you got the Springfield Armory XD Mod 2. So now what you need to be doing is buying ammo, man.
Yeah, I know, and I've been doing that, trying to, you can get some good deals online, too, and I've been talking to some people that I know and work with about splitting some of it, just because some of it's quite a bit of money up front, but you can buy 1,000 rounds of, 5.56 and 1,000 rounds of 9mm, and divvied up between a couple of friends, so at least you get a good amount and you get a good price on it. So,
yeah, you know what? If you don't have it, be sure to get our app, our free smartphone app, Gun Dealio, because there are some good, really good ammo deals that are popping up on that thing all the time now. So, you definitely, it's free. Why wouldn't you just get the Gun Dealio app and you can save a bunch of money on ammo?
I use it quite a bit actually. So.
Oh, cool. Very good. Yeah, very good. And yeah, that's right. Oh, good point. Jim says Double Tap now has free shipping for, I think, maybe through November, something like that. But Double Tap ammo. Yeah, and you get the Gun Talk discount there also. So Double Tap ammo. Now, look, I appreciate the range report. Excellent, Marcus. Well done. Let's see. Yeah, that takes us out of time. We're not going to be able to get anybody else. Myron, don't go anywhere. We're going to get you in here. Autumn, we're going to get you in here. But I'm going to have to wait until they get back after this break, because it's just not enough time to get everybody in right now. Getting a new gun and taking it out and finding out that you really like it is just one of the best feelings, because the cool part is, if you're not a gun person, you don't understand it. You find a gun you like and you go, I'm going to have this gun forever, because guns don't wear out. If you take care of them, they will last essentially forever. And now you have this thing that makes you happy. You go out and shoot it, and you'll always have it available. It's like, why wouldn't you? What else do you buy that you say, I'm going to be able to use this for the rest of my life? That's one of the cool parts about guns. If you've never gotten into the ARs, if you're a hunter, I get that, I understand. But I will tell you, a friend of mine's this week, he said, I've never had one, but I'm going to buy one. I said, why? He says, because I don't know what's coming, so I'm just going to get one. I get it. Hey, that's why I bought my first one in '94. Yeah, that started me down a long road of a lot of ARs.